This is Trinesha Cottrell, and today I wanted to talk about the trick to get over yourself. Like, get over yourself already. I know you're like, okay, that's harsh. You came in real hot again. Listen, the reason why I want to say that is because sometimes we forget what the big picture is. Sometimes in life, when we're doing different things, our main focus is what's best for us, what's in it for us, what can we do for ourselves. Oh, I would go here, but I would look like this. I'm going to give you a few examples of what happened today that really had me humble myself. God humbled me real quick. Like, I was starting to get beside myself a little bit, and I was like, I always say this prayer, like, God, just keep me humble. No matter where you take me, no matter how much money I have or don't have, whatever else, allow me to always be grateful for what it is that I have and to always be humble. So earlier today, I am sitting in the car, gospel music blasting. I'm in a mood. I mean, I'm dancing and everything. I'm like, I got the joy, I'm really jamming hard. I got the cheesiest, biggest smile on my face, just feeling good, feeling like God is so good. Like, I don't care what nobody else is saying right now. Well, I didn't care about, I, at first, I was just like, I'm just in my own little zone, just doing different things, whatever else. And then I realized somebody was looking at me. And the first thing, the first thing I did was I was like, oh man, like, what is this person going to think? And immediately right after that, I felt this person doesn't have an heaven or an HE double hockey sticks to put me in. This joy that I'm feeling right now, the world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. I felt, I was about to start like preaching to myself in my head and everything. It was a whole thing. Like, I was so happy. I was just like, it's really not about them. It's about me giving glory to God. It's about me appreciating this moment. It's not about me either. It's about God. This has absolutely nothing to do with what I've done in my life. It has to do with what God has done in my life. It has to do with the fact that He woke me up. It has everything to do with the fact that I'm going to have a positive mindset today because I'm grateful of all the things that God has given me. It had more to do with God's grace and mercy and knowing that He is the type of God that He will come through. And earlier today, when I was doing some self reflecting and spending some time with God, I was really thinking about, I know I could see how everything was going to line up. Like, I always have this like picture in my head of what my life is going to look like, the things that God has taken me through, the places that God is trying to take me in life. I can kind of picture it. Like, I can visualize exactly where it is that I'm heading, even if I don't know the strategies or how it's going to happen or what places or people. Like, usually whatever I'm thinking of, God is like times 10. Whatever it is that God's doing in my life is times 10. I can never fathom what it is that God's trying to do in my life. But I always have like this visual picture in my head when I hear God's promises to me and I know the things that He can do and everything that He put inside me to do. And earlier today, I was like, okay, I just need to focus on God. I know God's going to come through. I know no matter what's happening in my life, everything is going to be fine. I know everything that I've been through in my life is for a reason. Like, I started feeling like everything was lining up for a reason. I felt like every relationship that didn't work out in the past was teaching me something about myself so I could be with the person I was supposed to be with. I felt like everything that happened to me in the past was for a reason because it strengthened me in certain areas I didn't even know that I was broken or that I was weak. Everything that I have went through, I felt like was a stepping stone towards the path that God set forth for me. Every single thing felt like it clicked earlier today. Like, I know God is using things and He uses things to get you ready for the next season. But I had no idea that I could see everything. Like, it made sense why I didn't work out with this person or that person. It made sense why I didn't get this job or that job. It made sense why I had to leave another position to go into this position. It made sense why God allowed my finances to be low in a season because He needed to show me how to budget, how to steward my finances better. Because when you make a certain amount of money, sometimes you feel like it's endless. Like, you don't have to worry about how much money you do have, or you don't have to budget as strategically, or you don't have to be checking your finances as much, but you should always check it, no matter how low or high your finances are, because it'll help you be a better steward of the finances that you do have. And so I feel like everything that God was showing me was for a reason. He was showing me how to tithe the right way. Like you weren't tithing as much as you needed to when you were making this kind of money. So I'm going to humble you because I need to show you how to tithe the right way. And the tithing is not for God. That money means nothing to God. It's your trust that you're giving him. Like, God, I trust you because you gave me this position to be able to pay me this amount of money. So 10% is nothing compared to the 90% that you already gave me, because I wouldn't have this job without you. 10% of my time praying, going to church is nothing compared to the 30 some years of my life that I've been here living. So when we really think about it in that way, it's not about us. It's about giving glory to God. It's about being grateful and thankful for the things that God has already gave us. It's about understanding that when God is using us, it's for us to bless other people. It's not about us. Like, we get so conceited. For real. Like, we really be feeling ourselves like, oh, I did this. No, you didn't do nothing. You didn't do that. God did that. Like, we really have to get over ourselves, really understand that it's not us that's doing these things in our life. The reason why you didn't get into that accident was because God told you to wait 15 minutes before you left the house. The reason why you got that job is because God qualifies the unqualified. He qualifies people that are not qualified, that other people wouldn't see as qualified. You don't have to have the qualifications. You don't have to have the criteria. You don't have to have anything. All you have to do is have God and faith. That's it. And God will get you into that room, into that position without the experience. God will make sure that your finances come up. Out of nowhere, you will get a deal with some brand, or out of nowhere, you will get some opportunity that you never thought you would have in your entire life, because God always comes through. Everything that you're doing in your life, you keep feeling like, oh yeah, I'm doing this, I'm going this place, I'm doing these things. But God, like, I was listening to this audiobook earlier today, and it talked about the buts that we have in our life. How we always say we can't do this because of this. Like, there's always a reason why. I think it was a sermon. It said we always have a but at the end of, I would do this, but I don't have enough money. I would do this, but I would go this place, but I would be a speaker, but I would finish school, but we have all these buts instead of but God, because we don't realize that anything is possible with God. You thought your finances weren't going to be good, but God came through. You thought that you weren't going to get that opportunity, but God came through. You thought that you was never going to get married or ever going to want to be in a relationship, but God touched your heart. He changed your whole perspective of things. He rearranged your thinking to make you understand what it truly means to be in a godly relationship. He really allowed you to humble yourself, really allowed you to really do self reflection so that you can understand what it was that you needed to work on, and that pointing the finger at someone else doesn't make you a better person. God will literally break any hard pieces of you. Like, I felt like I was so guarded. So I had such a wall up that I was never ever going to let anybody in. I thought I could just be tough and just be alone, be single, and never have to worry about being vulnerable ever again for the rest of my life. And God showed me that wasn't my path. And I'm so happy that He allowed me the opportunity to be preparing for the person that He has for me. I'm so thankful and grateful that God is the type of God that He is, that He didn't just take my ignorance, my arrogance, my egotism, or egotisticness. I'm just so happy that God allowed me to, in time, be able to be a better person, and didn't just write me off with all of the mistakes that I've made. I'm so happy and grateful that God is the type of God that He is, that He gave me His grace and His mercy, that He allowed me to be able to be a better parent. He allowed me to be able to be content with the life that I have, that He allowed me to be able to work on my finances, that he allowed me to be able to walk into doors that I never even thought I would go in, that he allowed me to speak, to put on my heart things to say for these videos to help and serve other people, because that's what it's all about. It's all about helping somebody else. It's not about me. It's about God. And the moment that you realize that, the moment that you focus on him, is the moment that things start happening in your life. You don't even understand how it's going to happen. You don't ever have to know how it's going to happen. Just know that God's going to come through. I I am not with my kingdom spouse yet. But the way God is set up, see the way my God is set up, I know it's only a matter of time. And I feel, I don't know if I should say that part, but it just, you know, when God is getting ready to do certain things in your life, you will notice that things in your life just start changing. All of a sudden you start getting prepared in certain areas. Like right now I'm in a season where I'm actually preparing for the person, and intentionally. I'm not just pretending like I don't want it. I do want it. I'm not just in an area where I feel like I want to put up a wall. I actually, every person that I've met until I meet the person who God has graced for me has shown me something about myself, has allowed me to be able to grow in another area, has allowed me to be stronger when it comes to setting standards and boundaries, has shown me what I do and do not want in my life, has allowed me to be more of myself, more of the person that God created me to be. And I feel like God allowed those people to be there because he knew that I was going to need to do that. He knew that I wouldn't just be ready just right off the bat. I would have had to go through some things to be able to get to this person. He knew that my heart needed to be softened a little more because I couldn't have this wall up, and he allowed his child to come to me. He knew that I would need to change my mental perspective from 10 years ago, 5 years ago, when I was just thinking about pointing the finger at somebody else instead of taking accountability. He knew that I was going to have to be the type of person who really knew who did it, because it wasn't me. It's not the other person that made this happen. It's God that made it happen. I could see him literally turning me into this kingdom wife. I could literally see him changing things about me that I either didn't know was a problem in the past, or I didn't know was still broken in the past, and he helped me heal. And I know it's so crazy how God works. Like today, I just realized it. I was like, wow, like when I met this person, I didn't know this, but then I learned this. When I met this person, I didn't know that there could be people that could be that honest with you, that would really be honest without, even though we might have wanted the same things. I never met a guy that would be honest like the guy that I met at the beginning of this year, the guy that I met last year. I would have never known that I would have an issue setting standards or boundaries or feeling guilty about decisions that I made, instead of just letting it go, knowing that I'm going to make mistakes. Like I thought I was going to just be perfect and make all the best decisions. I didn't know I would miss out on tests and then get this whole guilt train running. Like I just had this little cycle of just feeling so guilty within myself because I couldn't be perfect. And I'm not perfect. It took last year for me to realize, and speaking to my grandmother, to realize I'm never going to be perfect. Only God is perfect. And I don't have to be perfect for this kingdom spouse. I just need to be the best version of myself, who God is creating me to be. And that will be good enough. I don't have to try to prove anything. I've learned definitely through the last 2.5 years. I don't have to prove anything to anybody else because I'm exactly who God created me to be. Nothing more, nothing less. And that is good enough. I don't have to pretend like I'm trying to act a certain way around somebody. I don't have to try to be anybody else, because being me is good. I'm good being me. Nobody could be me better than me. And that is a gift. Like God has literally gifted me with so much wisdom within the past 2 years, and it's such a blessing. Every time I talk about the goodness of God, I can't help but cry. Like you don't understand. It's so emotional. Like I'm so emotional when I talk about God. It's just like, oh my gosh. But I never thought I would ever want to be in a relationship, ever. And God literally touched my heart and made me feel like I want to be in a relationship with the right person, not just anybody. I don't just want to be in any relationship. Let me change that. He really made me understand that I really do want to be in a relationship. He made me realize that I really can let my guard down. I met someone, and no, it's not a person I'm with, nothing like that. I have to clarify that because, just in case. It'll be my luck the kingdom spouse watches this video and he's like, oh, she's taken now. I can't shoot my shot. No, let me stop. No, but seriously, like I learned something from this person recently and they were trying to try me. And I'm not getting on this person. I'm just telling you the story. So they were trying to try me and I would not bend to his will. I refuse to settle for anything less than what God has for me. I refuse to lower my standards, dishonor myself, or disrespect God. And I say it like that because God created me to be the best version of myself. And I would be doing a disservice to myself and that other person if I gave him the least of me. I feel like every person that you're with, every person that's a part of your life deserves the best version of you. Not just for you, but because you're a representative of God. If I'm planning on being an ambassador of the kingdom, then I need to act like a king's daughter, not just any person. I can't just settle for anything, especially when I've seen all the blessings that God has given me in my life. God really taught me so much. You don't even understand. I had no idea. Like I still had a little bit of that from like when I was a teenager. I think I know everything kind of thing when I first became single. Like I knew I needed God when I first rededicated my life to God. And I knew like I was humbling myself for the most part. And I could feel myself like growing and learning and becoming more emotionally intelligent and things like that. But I had no idea that God was going to teach me so much about myself. I had no idea that He was going to really show me how to become a wife. Like, I didn't know that He was going to really show me how to be more emotionally intelligent and teach me the right way. I had no idea that God was gonna really soften my heart like that. Like I really am usually just like so like I don't want this. And now I totally feel like I do want this. And now I really feel like I could be in a position where when a person comes who is intentional in the best of ways, with the best intentions, not bad intentions, but with good intentions, when they come to me, then I will actually be in a position where I will be ready. I won't be harboring anger from another relationship. I won't have any resentment to anyone in the past. I won't be holding on to someone who I had trouble letting go of. I won't be feeling guilty for any of the mistakes that I've made in the past because God forgave me. His forgiveness is so far as the east is from the west, from the deepest levels of the sea. Like, there's nothing that you have done that could make God stop loving you. And knowing that allows me to forgive myself. And God is just so good. Like, you think you know what God is going to do in your life, and you have no idea. And you try to say, oh, it's going to be this person. I'm going to go this place. I'm going to work at this job. And God's like, no, 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 no. And you're like, oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess we're going to go this way. And He's like, I need you to stay right here in this position and wait on me because I have a plan. And my plans are to prosper you and not to harm you. Because no matter what you're going through, I will be your bridge over troubled water. No matter what you're going through, I will be with you always. The way that God loves me makes me feel so full. And in the past, I would have been looking for that somewhere else, thinking that a person, place, or thing could fulfill that space that only God can fill. And it really took I was today years old when I learned that, God, mm, 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 mm. You just don't understand. God is just amazing. He really is. And if you put your trust in him, he will see you the rest of the way. Like, just take a couple steps, just walk, just do something in your life. Don't just stay stagnant. Don't allow the distractions to deter you from what it is that's in your destiny. Allow God to keep pushing you forward so you can be in your purpose. Don't allow anyone else to tell you what you can and can't do, because God will always qualify you for everything that he has for you. God will always make sure that you have everything that you need to get into that room. You don't have to even be on a stage anywhere, and they will offer you a spot to be a speaker somewhere, because that's where God needed you to be. That's where he needed your testimony to be told so that you can help other people. God will literally give you a six-figure position and you have no qualifications, but you're willing to be a worker like Jesus. You're willing to be Christ-like and have that work ethic. God will literally send the man that you never imagined would be a part of your life. I haven't even met this man. Let me put that out there. I mean, I might have met him, but I'm not with this man. But whew. If you know God like I know God, you understand why all of this is happening, because it's so emotional. It really is. It's like the joy that you feel in your soul. It's like when things start to click, when you start to look back at certain things that God got you to do, and you're like, why am I even doing this? Why did I even have to meet this person? Why did I have to go through this? Why am I in this job? And then you realize that the reason why you're in the job is because it's showing you how to be a manager of your own company. You realize that the reason why you met all of those men was to teach you something about yourself so that you could be the type of woman who can be ready for a kingdom spouse. You realize that everything that you've been through in your life has been teaching you something so that it can get you to this point right now. You realize that although it never made sense to you, it always made sense to God. And it's just so amazing how he does it. You'll never understand. That's why I'm saying you got to get over yourself. Because everything that you're doing in your life is for God. Everything. So when you're eating healthy, whether you're eating healthy like I was eating healthy, and I didn't tell this story, but this is the other thing that happened. I always eat healthy. I don't know if I should say always. Most of the time, I eat healthy, and then every once in a while, I indulge in something that's not as healthy, like pizza or, a sweet cream cheese pretzel from Wawa, or something like that. Wawa. But, but yeah, so I usually eat healthy, and my friends, family members, other people rag on me so hard, get on me so bad, like, oh, we know she's only gonna eat a piece of lettuce. I eat a lot. Like, I'm a foodie for real. So I don't know why they say that, but I guess it's because it's healthy food. And usually, we're used to ribs and chicken, and I mean everything that's got all the seasonings with all of the flavors. So I'm eating healthy. And so one of the people who rags on me is talking about, oh, I need to get like Trinesha. And I decided I wanted to eat healthy today because you eat healthy and I need to take better care of myself. And I know it sounds so silly to other people, but whenever people say things like that, the first thing I think of is don't be like me. I know it sounds so weird, but that's the first thing I think of. Don't be like me. And I was like, they should be like this. They should be like that. And then God put on my heart, and he was like, it's not about you. It's about you setting a good example for the kingdom. And you being a kingdom ambassador, you being an example for people to eat healthy, or, be in a healthy relationship, or truly love themselves is amazing. You are a representative of me. So it's not about you, it's about glorifying the kingdom. When people can see you do those things the right way and they decide to do better, that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And I was like, yeah, that's so true. It's really not about us, it's about God. We get so conceited sometimes. Like, really, oh, they trying to be like me. No, they see the God in you, they see the glow, they see that favor on you. Who wouldn't want a piece of that? Who wouldn't want a piece of God? I mean, to be a part of God, to be in His presence, to learn more about the type of God who can make you feel like this, the type of God who can give you joy unspeakable. Why wouldn't other people want that in their life? So, although, like for me, it felt like pressure, but that helped take the pressure off because it's true, it's not about me. It's just about me being a good example of what it's like having God in my life, just being a representative of the kingdom. That's everything I need to be. I don't have to worry about being perfect because only God is perfect, but I do need to do the best that I can. So, I'm not going to stay on here any longer crying all night long because I do have to get up early in the morning, but I love doing these talks. I love serving people, helping people. And thank you so much for watching. And if you are going to start getting over yourself and you're going to start being an example, put I'm an example in the comments below. And also, I will be here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope to see you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember to be in purpose.